I'm not at this point. I'm not surprised. I know I shouldn't be laughing because it's just no one wants to read this, especially consumers who are looking forward to getting a hold of some of these cards in possibly late 2020, maybe early 2021 if we're lucky. But when you see a story like this right here, I mean, how am I supposed to? I'm not surprised. I'm really not. This is like typical 2020 here. And then to see that MSI is involved, how much crap has MSI had to go through in 2020? I mean, like they've already gone through the scalping allegation, which turned out to be like a more or less an inside job between at least one or two people who worked for the company or under the company. Not a good look for MSI at all. And then you get $340,000 worth of cards stolen, just straight up stolen from a factory in China. What can I say? Activating Windows is as simple as hopping on over to SCD Key's VIP site where you can purchase an OEM Pro key for a little over $10 US. Use a secure payment method like PayPal, receive your key in a matter of seconds, and activate your OS here to remove that annoying watermark. Click the link below to get started and use my offer code GSL for a sweet discount. And I mean, when you really look at the details here of this story, which was, by the way, confirmed by MSI themselves, apparently, you just have to, I mean, you've got to wonder who on the inside knew what was going on and was okay with it. And that's being generous because somebody knew something internally. You don't just walk in and understand logistics and know where things go, know where things are shipped. This and I mean, unless this was like a crazy multi-million-dollar operation, which it wasn't, because we know the value of the card stolen. At least again, according to MSI, we're going to take them at their word here. Somebody had to know the inner workings of the company, know where these cards specifically were being shipped to, know which truck these cards specifically were going on in order to steal said cards. So. Something fishy. Again, another inside job. This just does not look good for MSI. It really does not. But I think people are going to kind of blow this out of proportion. This is typical internet stuff here. No one's surprised. But when you really start looking at it, they stole 40 cargo boxes. $336,500 is a huge number. Okay, that's mid six figures. No one's going to deny that. That's a ton of money. But when you really break it down, the overall theft here wasn't catastrophic. And this is just one AIB, but it's not the end of the world. This is not likely to affect inventory levels long term. You have much more to worry about when it comes to bots and scalpers than you do 40 randomly missing cargo boxes from one AIB, okay? And Tom's Hardware does point this out. They say, I think down here, yep, toward the bottom. So if you do the math, it comes out to around 220 units. That's not a lot, okay? It's 220 graphics cards. Now, sure, some of you are going to be saying, well, I can't buy a single one, so 220, that's a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but again, it's not like the entire market of 3090s was stolen, like there's still plenty of other AIBs out there. If you were looking to buy from EVGA or Gigabyte or whoever, it's not likely to affect you very much. And again, this is just one batch of these cards. It's not like the entire inventory that MSI was sitting on. So honestly, I'm not surprised that people stole these. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first instance of it either. This is just probably the largest level of theft that a company like this has experienced in a good while, and that's probably why it's making headlines. But at the end of the day, these cards are still going for well over $2,000 on eBay. And in fact, if we hopped on over to the sold listings page, we can see here just how much. Yeah, so this sold for $2,000. This one sold for $2,100. This one sold for $2,200. These are easily $2,000 plus cards. So there's at least a $500 markup here, maybe a bit more than that, for over MSRP. And I mean, that's another motive that criminals have to steal. Now, I'm not trying to juxtapose this to scalping. Scalping is a perfectly legal thing to do here in the States with most commodities. There are a few exceptions. But anyway, it's a lot of money, so I'm not surprised that people were willing to stoop to this level to get a hold of cards like this. Their intention obviously is going to be to resell these. The value is not in the card itself, it's in what you can exchange the card for in cash, and in this case I'm assuming it would be the Chinese yuan. But anyway, it's unfortunate, but it is not the end of the world. Do not panic, do not freak out. These cards, I mean, what's ironic is that they're still available. Like, you can buy one right now without a hitch. Like, they're on eBay right now. They're just not at the prices people want them at. And that makes sense, because if a company pledges to sell a card at a certain price, but the only place you can find them is where they're marked up by 100% or more, that it can piss people off. By the way, if you're wondering where this figure comes from here, $340,000, and then later it says around $336,500 to be more specific. There isn't anything confirming how many cards are in each box, and that's why they're kind of just ballparking here. We're more or less taking in MSI at their word. But I mean, it's just, is anyone surprised by this? I mean, like, genuinely in the comments, let me know if anyone is actually surprised by what has happened. Not just with MSI, but just with graphics cards in general in 2020. This to me is just it's not shocking at all. And my goal here is obviously not to defend MSI. I mean, especially after previous allegations in 2020, this just compounds the issue of MSI being cast in this negative light. It's not a good look no matter how you try to spin it. That said, I would still have made this video if this story was about Gigabyte or EVGA or whoever else. The internet's going to grab this story. They already kind of are. Apparently, it's reported last night. And yeah, first thing Monday morning, I mean, this is how stories spread. I wanted to get to it a bit early just to kind of, just relax. I mean, it's not something worth popping a blood vessel over. And when you really do the math, right, when you focus on not the value of the card stolen, but the number of cards stolen, if you divide the price here basically by the MSRP of each card, you realize that 40 cargo boxes isn't as big a deal as it seems. And again, this is just one AIB. We've got much bigger problems to worry about in the graphics card space than this single theft here in China. So that said, leave a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Click the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. My name is Greg. Thanks for learning with me.